I and many other golfers have been overlooking this Pro V1 replacement for far too long. Have we missed a trick? We're going to find out. That sounds incredible. I want you to picture the best golfer in the world in your mind. Just think of it. Who is it? They'll pop into your mind now. Now, a lot of you will probably have pictured Tiger Woods, and the reason I asked you to do this is because Tiger Woods actually helped design the ball in question today. It is the Bridgestone Tour B XS. He helps design it and he helps play it. Now, if we think of his career, one of the best, the greatest golfers of all time. If we think about his actual talent and technique when it comes to shot shaping, green side control, and even now his actual driver distance is creeping up. This is the ball that he's using to do it. So that is one of the reasons that I think it's quite overlooked. Another thing to bear in mind about the Bridgestone Tour B XS is how much they're actually costing. Pro Vs now, on average, are about £50 per dozen, about $60. I jumped on Amazon and was able to get a dozen of these golf balls for £34.99, so about $40. So straight away, that's quite a big saving when it's a ball that's in the same category. But why is it overlooked? I do have one reason before I actually get to testing it. So one thing that I do think is actually Bridgestone, the company, maybe aren't that bothered about the ball being overlooked. When we think about Bridgestone as a company as a whole, golf doesn't spring into my mind straight away. They are a seriously large company and they're known a little bit more for their tyre industry, so they're huge in the F1 market, and golf maybe might just be a factor that they're in, but their spend and how much they make from it actually doesn't matter as much to them as maybe what their perception in other areas of their business are. But as a golf ball goes, it seems to be that a lot of people, when we tested the Big Four, really rated the Bridgestone golf ball. There was hundreds of comments, probably the golf ball on the channel that gets the most comments that we've had when we've not tested this golf ball. So today I'm going to put it through its paces. We're going to go and give it a chip and a putt, get a little bit of feeling test. I want to put a durability test on it. I want to see what it's like with the irons, because I think, like I say, with Tiger using it, we're going to see some good flight control from them. And then more importantly, I want to get some numbers with the driver to see how it stacks up against the other big brands. I'm excited for this one. Let's get into it. So now we know a little bit about the golf ball, it's time to test it. Firstly, for a little bit of feel and a little bit of touch, see how it is around the greens. Are we getting the spin? What's it like off the putter? I always like the bike test as well. Does feel pretty soft. One thing that I will say, when you get it out straight away, the dimple pattern looks very different to a lot of balls. They look a lot bigger and almost like deeper and flatter, the dimples. Whether that's going to have any effect on performance, I would imagine that's part of the reactive IQ dimple structure that I've talked about. So that is a little bit strange, but something that I don't think will be too much of an issue. But we're going to have some chips, we're going to have some putts. Let's see how it goes. Oh, that did sound nice, I like that. That'll look good on camera. Ooh, that had some spin. So I had an initial chip and putt with the Bridgestone Tour B XS, and definitely we say that sound has a big impact on the feel, and they sound a little bit softer than what I actually expected. Not sounding too clicky or harsh, they sound quite rubbery would probably be a good word to describe them. When you're hitting the chips and the feel off the chip then and the putter, you definitely get that coming through because of that sound. So it's quite a nice soft feeling golf ball. If you're into more of a firmer feeling golf ball, this wouldn't be the route to go down. You're getting that sort of nice premium sort of urethane feel off it. Chipping, I was expecting a little bit more spin, it has to be said. I was getting that initial bite. We are on firm greens here out at Formula Ladies Club today, and I did expect a little bit more, even pitching back into the wind on some of them. I thought there was going to be a little bit more bite. I struck them pretty well, but yeah, I would maybe expect just a little bit more spin, so maybe one of the other balls would probably suit me a little bit more. But if you are a high spin player, these will probably suit as well. But overall, initial start with them as well, not seeing that they're wearing up at all. You know, I've hit probably 20-30 chips, loads of putts round the green. They're looking good, they're sounding good, feeling good. Just would have maybe liked a little bit more spin on them. So now we know about the chipping and putting side, we want to get some irons in play. Because we know Tiger had a hand in actually designing these golf balls, I would imagine with his class workability skills that these are going to be very, very good with an iron. So I'm going to hit some longer irons now into the green and see how they stack up when we're hitting those. That sounds so good. That sounds incredible, and it's got like 2 yards of fade on it. God, that's tiny draw. They launch so well. Oh my gosh, wow. That's 3 feet away. Done exactly what it said. Still nearly there as well. That just feels incredible. Sounds so good as well, and it looks, for a iron coming into a firm green, we are into wind here, it looks like it's stopping really quickly. We've got another angle, so we'll have to see whether that's the case, but I'm very, very impressed. Let's just hit one more. If you're loving this Bridgestone review, like I'm loving the feel and the sound, hit that subscribe button down below. Let's get back into the video. So I've hit quite a few shots now with the iron, and I must say, I'm very impressed with the iron. It sounds phenomenal, feels phenomenal, and then the control when actually hitting them, the workability aspect. The good thing that I liked about it, it didn't seem to deviate a lot. So when other balls, sometimes you try and hit certain shapes with them, you'd notice that there is quite a lot of movement with them. With maybe this sort of double dimple that they've got on them, they seem to hold a little bit better throughout their air and not have as much movement on them. So from the iron standpoint, gets a huge tick, and like I say, that stopping ability as well on the greens seems to be there when you are hitting the irons. So control with the iron, definitely a big pass for me there. So far, my overlooked claim about the Bridgestone Tour B X5 is stacking up, but now's the part of the test where we're going to see if it falls down. Firstly, I want to see what it's like durability wise. We know it's cheaper, we know it's doing well with irons and wedges and putter, but if it's shredding up, if it's cutting very quickly, I think that throws it out of the window. So I'm going to hit 10 shots with a brand new wedge and see how it stacks up. So 10 shots there, and it's fantastic to see how well this ball has stood up against those 10 shots. Barely any sort of wear marks on them. There's a tiny, tiny little scuff that you can maybe just make out on the ball. If you had it in your hand and looked at it from maybe a little bit of distance, you wouldn't really know as where. Some of the balls that we've tested in the past, they've stood up well with irons and wedges and putters, but when coming to the durability, having 10 shots with the wedge, they've been shredded to pieces. So on the durability aspect, it is definitely a huge pass on that one. I'm going to hit the big boy now. I want to get an idea of that sort of feel and sound again, like I saw from the irons, and the workability, sort of how it flights out here on the golf course. But then we've got the all-important data back in the studio to see if it can stand up. So 11th hole here at Formby Ladies, gorgeous one. One of my nemesis driving holes, but let's give it a hit, see what it's performing like. There's my standard spot over to the right. Even that looks like it should have. That's only just going to be right edge of the green here. That's mega. That's nearly on the green as well. One thing I'm definitely getting is that feel, that sound still there with the driver, but for me it's the sort of the flight. They don't seem to deviate much. They seem to be straighter, and even if you feel like you've lost one, they feel like they're actually not going off course as much. Perfect example. That's literally a 3-yard draw, and I thought that was going to be a hook. Let's hit one more, and then we'll hit 10 in the studio to find out what the numbers are saying. I reckon I can get this on the green if I get the right line. That's on the green. That is class. They launched nice and high as well. That could be a hole in one. Right, studio time. So I've had 10 shots there in the studio, and the big important numbers. Firstly, ball speed 162 miles per hour, big tick. The spin is right where I want it to be, 2,257 was my average. And then the distance, the carry distance comes out at 288, which is up at that high end of the balls that we've tested this year, round about where the Pro V is as well. So looking back over the ball as a whole, chipping and putting felt great, sounded great. I wanted a little bit more spin. The irons, wow, the actual workability, massive tick there. Durability knocked it out of the park. And then we see there with driver that it's competing along with the other ones. Is this an overlooked golf ball? I think yes, definitely. Is it a big replacement for the Pro V? Yes, definitely, considering the price being at $34.99 and that it's got Tiger Woods involved. I think we should see more of them in people's bags. Guys, if you've enjoyed this review, remember, subscribe, and we'll see you in another video soon. Maybe check out the cut golf ball one here.